welcome back, and if you are new here, my name is Noemi. So for today I have a very exciting Q&A video for you, and I can address all those questions that you might have. Obviously I can't answer to all, but I will do my best to answer to questions that it's a more common question, and as much as I can squeeze into that video. And also there are some questions that it was more like requests, and all I can tell you that there's so many exciting video is going to come up very soon. I'm working on those already and taking notes, so if you can't find that answer now, either I'm going to make another Q&A or it's gonna be a video about it. Okay, so I'm same as last year when I made the Q&A, the garbage truck came. Every single time when I sit down and do a talk video, there's a garbage truck coming. So first of all, I would like to address our origin, because for some people, especially to new people, it can be confusing. But both my husband and I were born in Hungary and we moved to the States, and now I want to clarify my name. So I'm doing art, and my art is very much like a Scandinavian style, and without knowing that, I was trying to selling those art and I bumped into the store, which by the way, it was my favorite store, and now sadly it's closed, but it was my favorite store, and that was a Scandinavian import things in there. It was all Scandinavian, and they were pretty much the very same style that I love, all about the mushrooms and the folklore and this retro-ish style. I mean, all those things just very resonated with me. So, and as the owner of the store recommended me to try out the Scan Fair, which is a once in a year or actually twice a year event, but I only do the Christmas one, not the summer one. I went there the very first time. I felt like I'm home. It was incredible. Like the people, I didn't have to explain myself why I love mushrooms. I didn't have to tell people why I like natural wood. They were the same. They pretty much liked very similar things. So that style pretty much I discovered it already exists. I didn't, without knowing, I was just gravitated towards to all those things, all this natural wood and gnomes and all those things that it's a woodland related. So when I created this channel, I had no clue what I'm going to post. Like I had some ideas like about food related things, but I said two things I'm never going to mention on my channel. That one would be minimalism, then second, I never gonna share vlog. So far it turned out the opposite. I tried to find a name that it's pretty much representing and showing all the subject and topics that I want to post there. I didn't want to lock myself into one narrow subject, so I thought if there's a home into it that includes everything: family, food, decor, cleaning, whatever, everything that is home related is there. And I really wanted to just connected with the style, the simple style that we had, and it was very Scandinavian-ish, and that's how the name came, Scandish. So that was it represent. It's not entirely Scandinavian, but it's Scandish. How minimalism started for us. Okay, that was definitely, I'm going to tell you the before and after. So we started out pretty minimalist, I would say, with my husband as our background, and it's not much like by choice. It's just how it was before in our country and how we grew up. There weren't extra things. We had barely any basic things. So I think now I'm looking back, it's actually gave us some skills. That's the good side of it, and I do believe that everything that is bad has a good side of it. There's a reason why it's happening, and if at the time I don't see that, I still will see that later. Why is it a good thing? So we grew up pretty minimalist, and as I was a teenager, I never really was into the collecting thing. I liked clothes, I would say, and I loved pretty things, but more than ever I like decoration stuff. So I would say that was my biggest challenge. So in our early days when we got married with my husband, I did a declutter, and that was a long time ago. That was over 20 years ago. And I fixed our home. At the time I had no clue what is it called, but I just wanted our space to be representable all the time, so I don't have to stress about it if somebody wants to come over, or I just wanted to do my hobbies. And in order to get the things that I need to get done, that means dinner and after work and all those things, that was the best way to get back the control. So, but that was before we even came to the States. Then we came to the States, then we had kids, and I think the combination of having of kids and just opening all those options that we have over here, it's incredible. And I'm still just I feel so blessed to have this so many opportunities that I can buy things in the store if I want something. But yet we had to grow up on some level. Like there was no serious limitation. I mean, of course we have limitation with money, but still we were able to afford more things than before, and we wanted to live with that. We wanted to afford, and we wanted to buy the thing because we were like, finally we are able to afford. But it wasn't the answer, and as soon as we had kids, we started to have more toys because we wanted to give them so many things that we didn't have. And then slowly our household started to crawl into a very stressful household. It was really hard to keep up with the kitchen. If I finished fixing the kitchen, which took me days, then the kids' room were kind of like a disaster-ish area. And the bedroom, the clothes, the never-ending laundry. And we had a situation where I had to learn the gluten-free, dairy-free foods to create for my son because we had to change our diet immediately. So that gave me even more to my pile. So that's how we started to simplify things, to have more time to create recipes. That was my goal, and just basically have less stress, because it affected our kids too. I saw them, they were kind of restless to have too much toys around them or too much options to play with. So once we started to figuring out what is our sweet spot where we still content and happy, but we are not drowning in stuff, that's when we felt like we are on the good track. Okay, next question. Wow, I'm trying to keep it short. How minimalism changed our life? I cannot describe to you how big of a change and impact it had. It has a big self-learning in there. It's not just the stuff, it's behind the stuff. Why am I keeping it? What's my excuses? What are the things that kind of like taking the track off of my mind to stay focused on the things that I truly enjoy? Or what are the things that I, without knowing, I just tried to keep up with the norm, like what we supposed to have or how we supposed to do things. So it was a huge discovery, and I have to tell you that since we implemented this minimalist lifestyle, I started to feel like I'm more alive. I can be more myself, and I can do the things that I love, and I can start to make money from what I love to do. And that is huge. That is, to me, a huge thing, to being able to have a family where we can be together. We have time for each other, even during weekdays or even on weekends. We have the time for it. Somebody is asking how we were able to cut out sugar. To be honest, it was such a long time ago, I can't remember exactly the process. But I think I started with the foods that I'm talking about: meat and tomato sauce, bread, and all those things. Just read the label, it's there. Sugar is everything, not just in the cookies, it's in the meat, it's in the sauce, it's in everywhere. They use it everywhere. I don't know why, but they put it in everything, probably to have an addiction and you will buy more. I don't know. But it was definitely alarming to me. It's not just one thing that it has a sugar, but everything had a sugar. So I started to just prepare a fresh meal. For lunch, I started to make the sauce and all the other things, and I have to tell you, one point I went really far. Kids wanted to go outside. Oh wait, I will make you a sunscreen. That was a little bit too much, but I think we all have to get to the certain point to see how far we have to push to be in the middle where we want to be, so we can experience the both sides and to know what is for us that is good. So I started with those salty foods, we cut out the sugar, then we more like switched to a healthier alternative. So it's not like we cut out sugar entirely. I mean, we had a time in our life we reduced tremendously, so even an apple was so sweet I couldn't finish it up. But again, it's very important to have a healthy relationship towards the food. So I started to back up a little bit, and we started to use like just a healthier alternatives like maple syrup and honey and date. Although I don't like date sugar because it seems like I need to use a lot to have the sweetness that we desire, so that didn't work for me. That was way too much. I find that maple syrup works the best for us, and sometimes honey. So we just switched to a better alternative, and I think our body adjusted to it, to not to have this sweetness in anything. So your body can adjust to it over time. So first just switch to a healthier alternative, and then you can reduce it. And I mean, at least for us, this is what helped and worked. Oh, this is gonna be so long, oh my goodness. Okay, decluttering process. Somebody was asking me about that. That was painful. That was really painful. It was very slow. I took my time. I just mentally, I couldn't do it in 30 days. No way. There's so much deeper into that. I mean, it's all, as you have the things you have to think about, your future, like how you going to use this item if you ever will, or what can you use that you already have to substitute with that. So that was a tricky thing. So most of the areas that I decluttered successfully, like we didn't go back, I just put things in the box, set it aside if I can live without it. And I was actually surprised by the creativity that brought to us to figuring things out. And even my husband way of thinking has changed, because he was pretty much the one who couldn't find something. He just went to Home Depot again. So I just took my time, and I was constantly trying to get inspired, and that inspiration sometimes came from the books that show really messy homes. So that inspired me. Ooh, I don't want to go that way. And sometimes it was just a very simple of a picture that I saw. It wasn't even a decluttering picture. It was just a very serene looking home, and I just envisioned that. To me, as I knew my goal, what I wanted to have with my time and out of with minimalism, that was super encouraging me. Every time when I got stuck, I was holding up an item. This is the item that actually holding me back from all those peaceful moments and time away from my family, because right now I'm holding it up and just think about it like I should keep it. So it just has my attention instead of I would have my attention on my family. So to knowing all those goals has helped me so much. I think we started probably with some of the bigger, chunkier kids things that they didn't use, and the first room was our bedroom. That was the easiest to me. Kitchen wasn't an easy one. One, it was very overwhelming. Two, I have a soft spot for kitchen things. You know, I like to cook, so bedroom wasn't easier for me. And also I wanted to look more put together. I wanted to simplify my mornings as I get ready, because I do like nice clothes. I really do, but comfort comes first. So before I decluttered my bedroom, in the morning when I was cold, I could care less how will I look. So I just put on the things that I thought it's comfortable or warm. That means I had a hot pink pants, maybe an orange hoodie, maybe a lime green socks, who knows. It was really wild. So I wanted to tone it down and just have an easier option. So I started to declutter my bedroom and my closet, and that made such an impact on me that every time when I was stressed out, I was gravitated towards to that room. So one day I was thinking, why am I just not creating my whole entire home the same way, where we feel good, and not just the bedroom, because we always went there when we were stressed out because it was nice and peaceful. So to us, it was the bedroom, the first one that we decluttered. I'm getting a lot of questions about how do I have energy, and that is, I think it truly goes down to the food that we eat. It helps with my brain fog, my energy level, because you guys have to know something about me. I didn't eat healthy. So many of you have this impression that I was always a healthy eater. No, I think I was the worst. I went to the store and I was going for the strangest thing. If I saw a drink, a gallon for $1, and it had this blue, but you know, this blue that it's almost like glowing blue, I bought it because I love colors, I like unique things. But the interesting things that I was looking for, always something that I was craving. I couldn't describe it, but I was keep craving something unique, food that I will love, or drink that I will love so much. And now that we eat healthy, I don't have those cravings that I need to discover like crazy new foods. And that doesn't mean of course I love like new food to try, like all those tropical fruits. You saw that, and besides them, I love it. But I don't have this weird crazy cravings to have those unhealthy foods anymore, because I think my body is nourished now with the good food. So I wasn't a good eater. Actually, I was eating breakfast from McDonald's. I was really bad that way, and I was in a really bad health too. I had type 2 diabetes and all kinds of things, sorts of things that it needed an immediate attention with diet. So that's when we started to address the problem with the food. Okay, I need to speed up here because we're going to sit here until tomorrow. Okay, somebody's asking me, have you ever regretted get rid of something? Honestly, I don't even remember what I decluttered. It sounds silly, but I only remember we had 3 big baskets that was supposed to hold laundries, like 3 giant baskets, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't do this, I can't drop it off. And I remember I drove away, I saw from the mirror, I was like, my basket. You know, I have my addiction to baskets. I love baskets, but that was the hardest to live there. And to be honest, I had a really hard time to sleep that night, because I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be able to afford this big basket to buy again if I change my mind. But the next day, I didn't even think about it, and actually I felt relief. So I was able to let it go. I just needed to process that, and I realized that actually I don't need that. I don't have that much stuff to store in there, so why should I have it? And I didn't regret that. I would not want that basket. If I would see that in the store, I would easily pass by it and walk by it. I could care less. So I don't have anything that I regretted yet. You know, decluttering is always an ongoing business, but so far I don't have anything that I regretted. Okay, so I have one more question, then I might have to do another Q&A, and I want to include my husband. I wanted to record with him, but he's been working for a long hours, and after he gets home, he does the fence around the house. So he was always too tired for that. I just don't want to drag him into that. But once he's over with this project, we might be able to do another Q&A, so you guys can have other questions, and it would be nice to see his side of the story, like how he went through with the decluttering process, since he had a more difficult time with that. Somebody was asking how we deal with eating out or eating with the family with our diets. And if you don't know, we have to be gluten and dairy and soy free and processed sugar free. So this is mainly how I can describe our diet. And and canola oil free, because canola oil causes inflammation, so we can't have that. So that's why it's tricky. Even if some food are vegan where we go, they use canola oil or they put some sugar in there, so it's not a safe option for us to eat out. So we only ate out twice in the last 10 years. Twice. And it wasn't really what we were expecting. Like, we so get used to the fresh food at home, we just decided it's not really worth that. We do a lot of outing with our friends. We have so many friends coming over, and we're going to our friend's house as well. And the solution for that, we just bring food, and we take food there that we're going to eat, and we just put that on the same plate. Some people don't even notice that we eat different thing, or if so, they asking, and we just tell them, oh, we can't have gluten and dairy. And some friends are just go an extra mile and just prepare some food for us, and I take some food that is for everybody, and it's gluten free and dairy free and everything free. But we just do it with a self-confidence. We just don't explain ourselves. This is the food that we eat. This is what is good for our body. So you can taste it if you want to. There's no big deal. We don't find, at the beginning it was a big of a deal. Like, we were like, is it polite to take the food, or but it's life. And these days, so many people have food sensitivity or allergy. I think it's not a bad thing to do. So at this point, our friends and family pretty much respecting how we eat, and they got actually interested in that. And I share some of our food, and they like that. So it's all working out fine. But I hope I answered those questions that you guys were mostly interested. And if not, I can do another Q&A. I really love chatting with you guys, because I feel like in vlogs, honestly, I always have to cut out so many things, because I feel like my video is going to be so long. And I also want to mention that I got some very beautiful letters into my PO box, and I just wanted to thank you so much. And it's on my table, and I want to get back an answer to you in a mail if it's possible. But right now it's just so busy with the boys. We just went back to the homeschooling schedule, and the scan fair is coming up, so and the website is on the way. So it's quite crazy, but it's still there, and it just truly made my day to read those lines. It's very special to me, because that is something is very personal from you guys. So I get to know you who watching me. So I really greatly appreciate those letters, and I'm going to keep those. I have them in a very special box. And I'm going to make a bunch of videos that was requested, so more like how we save money, and more like decluttering topics, and just more about minimalism and more about the tips. And I'm going to try to include more of those in my vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!